3 days from now, the Republican presidential contenders face off in the first primary debate. Of the 17 contenders, only 10 make the primetime cut. Hoping to be on that main stage is former Texas Governor Rick Perry. According to recent polling averages, he is fighting for that last spot right now, right around 11th place, so 2.5% there. He joins me now live at Manchester, New Hampshire. Governor, welcome back here to America's Newsroom, and it's good to see you this morning. You're right on the cut line. How important is that for you at 5 o'clock or 9 o'clock on Thursday?
Well, obviously, being at the top 10 would be a good place to be, but this is a long game for us. We've been at this for some time now, spent a lot of time in New Hampshire and Iowa and South Carolina, and that's where this game's really going to be decided. Debates are important. I don't get confused about that, but one debate's not going to make or break a candidate here. So, you know, our intention is to be on that stage and lay out our record of economic success in Texas, what we've done on the border, on border security. And it's a show me, don't tell me election. And I think the people of this country are going to be looking for an executive that's got results that are really good economically, and somebody that's going to stand up on the foreign policy side and the security side that's got the background of doing it.
So at this point, then, what you're saying is that it does not matter to you, whether it's top 10 or not.
Well, I won't say it doesn't matter, but I think in the long haul it doesn't make that big a difference. This is going to be about who can put the organization together, who's going to be showing in Iowa in that first in the country, who's going to come into New Hampshire and show well, and, you know, who's going to win South Carolina. As we know, that's where the real trajectory occurs. It's not just on a debate.
Okay, now, you have been going back and forth with Donald Trump for some time now. And you were asked about it in New York when you were here last Wednesday, and this is kind of the challenge you laid down. Watch.
Let's get a pull-up bar out there and see who can do the most pull-ups.
I don't know. That would be must-see TV, Governor.
Well, you know, this was my response to what I consider to be, you know, not particularly high-level conversation with Mr. Trump at that particular point in time, where he was making he was making fun of my glasses or something. I don't know what he was making fun of, and it was just an aside that kind of, let's just take this down to the playground type rhetoric. And people are really interested in who's going to secure the border, who's got the real background and the record for doing something like securing our border, who's going to be able to sit in the Oval Office and make the decisions that really matter. And having been the governor of the 12th largest economy in the world over the course of the last 14 years, that job creation, that economic record, that border security record is unparalleled with anybody sitting on the stage.
Well, and it's up to you to stress those points. But back to Trump for a moment.
Indeed,
here.
it is.
I mean, the Wall Street Journal came out with a poll again today that shows him still in first place. Now, and by a sizable margin. What do you think's going on with him and his candidacy?
Well, I think celebrity at this particular point in time is a real big driver for anybody that's, you know, putting themselves up for political office. One of the things I try to remind folks is that you got to remember back in 07, the entirety of 07, Rudy Giuliani, who was America's mayor, a celebrity in his own right, he led every poll for the entire year. He and Fred Thompson, who had been on television. So I think as Americans really focus in on what are the characteristics, what do these people really believe in? When people get a chance to take a look at Mr. Trump's record and they see this guy's for single-payer health care, then I think they may go, well, you know, the reality TV was pretty interesting, but single-payer health care, not for us.
Let's talk about the issues. We've been asking our viewers online on Facebook as we partner with them on Thursday to send us questions. And, man, do they send us questions. Here's one now. I'd like to know your position on illegal immigration and how you will deal with the illegals already here when you are president. To Richard Craig, you say what in Missouri?
Yeah, well, I tell Richard, I say, listen, that's the place that I don't think Americans want to go at this particular point in time. They want to see the border secure. All the way back to Ronald Reagan. 30 years ago, we saw this conversation that was had that we're going to allow these people to come into the country, we're going to give them amnesty, and, oh, by the way, we're going to secure the border. And now we're 30 years away from that, and we still haven't secured the border. I know how to secure the border. You put the personnel on that border in the right places. you have the strategic fencing in place, and you put aviation assets from Tijuana to El Paso to Brownsville 24/7, looking down, analyzing everything that's going on in that border, and when you see activities that are either clearly illegal or suspicious, quick response teams to go address that at that particular point in time. You can secure the border. Then we can have a conversation with the American people and with Congress about how to deal with the
so it's border security first. I did not hear you say you build a wall. That's not going to happen under your presidency.
It is about border security. And I go back to the entire wall issue. You can build a virtual wall, but to build a wall that I think that some people are talking about, how much time is it going to take? How much is it going to cost? Is it going to be 30 foot tall? The 35-foot ladder business is going to get really good. So my point is, we know how to secure this border.
The Senate may take up a vote today on defunding Planned Parenthood. What should happen here?
Well, just like in the state of Texas, I don't think this is an either-or issue. I think you can defund Planned Parenthood, and that's what needs to happen. We did that in the state of Texas. We saw this organization that was clearly outside the lines of anything that the people of the state of Texas were going to support, and we defunded them. Washington needs to do the same thing. Anyone who's seen these videos and understands what's going on in Planned Parenthood, whether you're Democrat or Republican, you ought to be totally offended by that. Defund them, send the clear message.
Last issue. The president will propose a rule that will put strident limits on power plant emissions. Is this something you'd support?
The president is going to destroy people in this country economically if he continues down this path of taking our American energy away from us. We need to have, matter of fact, we need a North American energy strategy with Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Open up the XL pipeline, use all of our energy resources. The idea that this president is limiting our ability to make America secure is putting not only our economy in jeopardy, but I think our literal security is going to be put in jeopardy if this president puts these places or puts these types of regulations in place. One of the first things that needs to happen is a president to use his executive authority to wipe out all this stuff that this president is doing to America's energy security.
Well, wipe out.
Wipe out.
Rick Perry, thank you for your time.
Bring the white out.
Yep, the former governor from Texas.
You're welcome.
They were in New Hampshire. Thank you. We'll see you in Ohio. Thursday is debate day in Cleveland. Fox News and Facebook bringing the first Republican presidential primary debate of the 2016 race. Starts at 5 o'clock. We want you to be a part of it. Here's how you do it. Submit your questions at facebook.com/Fox News and tell us what you want to hear from the candidates. Do it now. Nice.